Hello, everyone, and welcome back to One More for the Road. I'm a professional. A podcast of reviews, retrospectives, and looks back at all the anime and video games and other media that we really enjoy. My name is Eric. Welcome back to the show. And as always, I am joined by the co-host with the most, Felix Wind.
Yo,
Felix,
it's me. What's up, everybody? Hey,
Felix, what do you have the most of?
honestly, I guess really hot food takes. I don't know. Like, I just I've been making it a habit the last couple of months actually to stir up food debates randomly. And it's honestly, it's never calculated. It's always an accident. And it just kind of happens.
All right.
Most recently, we've gotten into discussions on whether Sunny D is orange juice or not, and that in itself was an interesting conversation. What is your take on that? Actually, is Sunny D orange juice?
All right, so it's objectively not orange juice,
Right.
but it is a juice that is orange.
Correct. Right. And if you say it like that, like of course, right?
Like,
I can't dispute that.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing with Sunny D. Like, it's definitely not orange juice.
Right.
But it's like a sugary. It's like if they made a soda orange, but it's not carbonated.
At the same time, right? Yeah, it's just a flat.
I don't know, man. It's like flat
sugar water.
It's flat. Yeah. It's flat sun kissed.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, other than that, though, like, that's an amazing segue into our top three. Top three drinks.
Oh man.
I know.
Man.
I wish you had a good segue because we planned this ahead of time. I'm going to break the magic here and make it think like I'm not a genius. All right. What do you got?
My top three are probably apple juice, the strawberry Fruitopia specifically at fast food places. All right. And I'm gonna Orange Crush. Actually, I think those are my three. Like, yeah.
Oh, that's
I love those
good. All right. I'm gonna hit you with the grape cranberry juice cocktail.
Oh
you know
my!
what I'm talking about, right?
Yes. You just sent me right back to my childhood.
Dude, that stuff, I love that stuff. It's so good.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to go with McDonald's Coke.
Ooh.
All right? Because McDonald's has their own Coke.
What? I actually didn't know that. I knew what was up with the Sprite. I did not know that about Coke.
Yeah, they have their own mix of Coke. It's like their own special brand. Or old special blend, and cranberry ginger ale, specifically Canada Dry.
Ooh,
all right, because if it's not Canada Dry, it's not real ginger ale. That's facts. You just have ugly Sprite.
Yeah, pretty much.
Ugly. All right, what's your worst drink? Like the one drink you cannot stand.
That's actually a good question. I've never really been like a fan of I guess like milk based drinks. Like if I go to like, a bubble tea spot, for example, like odds of me getting a milk tea are extremely slim. I'm the kind of person who always milk. Go. Yo, I go for like the fruit slushes every time I go to like a bubble tea place.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. Like, I think there's one exception. I don't know if you have like Coco's bubble tea where you're at.
No.
But okay. So they do this.
I'm in Ohio. We have like one boba tea spot in all of my city.
Fair. That's fair. I just assumed for some reason it would have at least been like a chain, I guess.
No, we don't have culture here.
Dang. Yeah, we got to get that sorted. But they have this this like brown sugar milk tea kind of thing. I don't think it's like mixed with like one or two other things, but I think that's the only like, I guess, milk based drink that I really care for.
Okay.
Yeah.
That reminds me of something very specific. There's this food truck that I used to go to all the time when I taught at this one place. And they did like these what do you call them, like lamb burgers on like cocoa bread with like a jerk mayonnaise.
Whoa.
And they sold it with the side that they had the meal, right, was that sandwich, a side of collard greens and brown sugar lemonade.
What?
And brown sugar lemonade is a game changer.
That sounds crazy. I gotta try that.
It was like $10. It was like $10 for this meal too. It was solid. I freaking dude, I need to go to this
still
place.
Around. It's got to be still around.
They right before the pandemic, they got a actual storefront. I don't know if it's still there or not. I haven't been to that part of town because that's like all the way like 30 minutes away from me now.
Right. Listen, I'm going to be following. I'm going to be following up with you on updates because there's no way. I need that.
Dude, that was hands down one of the best sandwiches in the city. Like not even close. But like the brown sugar lemonade, like I'm like, I need 2 of those.
Right.
I'm paying the extra $1.50 for a second one.
See. It's a small thing, but I appreciate that you think like that because I do the same whenever I know something is a little bit rare. Like I'll be like, okay, I'm going here one time, the first time in several months to a year. I gotta buy like 2 of at least this one item so I can have another one later.
I feel that. There's I used to go to a place, Gatlinburg, Tennessee. It's in the Smoky Mountains and stuff. And every time I go down there, I buy just a truly ludicrous amount of saltwater taffy. Because they have like a whole industry down there of like homemade saltwater taffy, and it's like
that sounds good.
Like my whole family, like I went down there a couple years ago. My whole family was like, "Hey, yo, here's $20. Bring me back a pound." Bring me a box. Give me like I'm just getting under the table deals. Like it's like, hey, give me some of that goods. My least favorite drink, though. Getting back, my least favorite drink is probably mimosas.
Oh.
And the reason is because we have a holiday tradition of having them for every Christmas. They have pulp in it.
Oh, heck no.
And that's not allowed.
Yeah.
But if I had to pick a second, it would be Sprite.
Oh, really?
It's for a very, very specific reason, though.
Okay.
This may be a little too much sharing, but I had to have I had to have like a colonoscopy earlier in the year, and they make you drink this stuff that like cleans you out like completely,
right? And
it's literally like the worst experience I have ever had as a human being because you have to drink like a gallon of it. Hey, you have to drink a gallon of it, and you have to do it all in like 2 hours.
No.
And it's the worst, but you're allowed to cut it with clear liquids. So I drank it with Sprite, and I cannot sip Sprite without just having a little bit of whoa.
Right. Oh no, that sucks.
Dude, it's the worst.
But yeah,
I used to, man.
Yeah,
that might have been a little bit TMI, but like it's fine.
Yeah, all good.
I needed to express that. But yeah.
Dang.
Oh man, you know what? It's like 10 minutes in, and you know what we need to do? We need to explain why we're here. It's Trails to Azure.
We really didn't mention that, huh?
We legitimately did not mention that it's Trails to Azure time. It's fine.
Hey!
It doesn't matter. But dude, so yes, we both received Trails to Azure early access from NiSA Video Game Company. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we have gotten to play the first roughly 10 hours of the video game. And we're here to give you our first impressions now that we have scared everyone away.
Indeed.
But if you clicked on the timestamp to take you straight to this part, you're smart.
Honestly, yeah. Smarter than we were when we were recording.
Yes, significantly.
Yeah.
So so first impressions, I'm just going to kind of give my initial general vibe. My God, I'm so glad we're back in Crossbell.
Yo, oh my gosh, it's crazy, right? So we just got done with Trails from Zero, like just a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Coming back to Crossbell, and this is something that I think that's going to kind of repeat itself for me, but it already feels nostalgic.
Yeah. I think I've said this before, but like Crossbell is one of those locations that has etched itself like into my soul.
Yeah.
like I could right now draw from memory a map of Crossbell. It would be pretty accurate.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah, and but the music of that place, like the vibe, the design of everything. Like you have like the Genton shop with its like car dealership vacuum cleaner setup, and you've got multiple little bistros. You've got like the bakery with the coffee shop out front. You've got the little what is it called, Vent Sept in the central square. All the food stands, that's my favorite part. Can I just tell
honestly.
you, like they sell so much food that I'll never eat, but like I just love that it's there.
Yeah,
you know, because
same.
it adds so much to the atmosphere of the place. I just stepping back into Crossbell, stepping back, especially with Trails to Azure, like it's like coming home. It really is like coming home for me. And I legitimately was like giddy. I was like just sitting there like the whole time when I first got into Crossbell. I was just sitting there bouncing up and down like but like let's talk about like mechanics a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's talk about mechanics because there's a big massive additional mechanic from Trails to Zero. Oh, hold on 1 second. We are going to probably be talking spoilers for the prologue and parts of the first chapter of Trails to Azure. Also, we will probably have full spoilers for Zero on the table.
Yep.
As well as probably Cold Steel 1 a little bit. We probably are gonna have to talk about that.
Yeah.
And maybe Sky?
Maybe a little bit.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe
a little bit.
And quite possibly, but I cannot guarantee the Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers.
Oh my gosh.
Don't worry about it. All right. We're just put a pin in that. We'll get to it. All right. So yeah, mechanics. They added Master Quartz,
dude,
which completely threw me off guard.
Yeah. Same. And it's crazy because obviously, I guess in hindsight, we in some ways maybe should have like figured based on what we knew from Zero, and then obviously going into Cold Steel 1 and coming into Azure, I was like, okay, yeah, I guess, it obviously makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll never forget like just how wide my eyes went when I was watching you play and I saw Arios's and I said, wait a second, was that a Master Quartz?
I didn't even see it. I was just like eyes glazing over I'm like, all right, whatever, stat screen. I'm like, oh, I probably should have looked to see what level people were. But I didn't because I'm a 3-head. And then and then you're like, yo, was that a Master Quartz? And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? And,
Yeah.
and then like that's the first thing he gives Lloyd and Noel. Oh my god, Noel.
Yo, Noel.
And I'm looking at the interface for the Master Quartz. It seems like it doesn't get like an ability at level 3. I'm assuming the ability levels up for the first 4, and then like level 5 has an ability.
Yeah, it's looking like it.
But I assume it levels up over time. I don't know because I haven't had one of mine level yet. But
yeah, likewise.
I
don't know what seems to the controller, or if it's literally just, of course, the like a chunk or a percentage of allocated experience. Like, I don't think we've gotten to properly explore that, but like I know right now where I'm at, and I'm sure probably you too by now. Like, my Master Quartz on Noel and Lloyd are like halfway to level 1 or something, or a little over.
Mine are like 3/4 because I've definitely killed more monsters than you.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, because I got my like 100 battle victories achievement
dang.
super quick.
Whoa!
I killed everything in the prologue.
Nice.
Nothing survived.
For as a little asterisk for our dear listeners, Areopolis is playing the game on hard, and I'm just kind of skating through on normal.
Yes, I'm also doing a more completionist run where you are doing much more casual.
Yeah,
like kind of a whatever people point you towards.
Pretty much
run.
Which, that's gonna bite me later.
Yeah, it's whatever. Like it bit me in 0, and I think 0 is the first game where I'm like, I really kind of wish I would have backed up and done more of the quests, but like ever since I started Cold Steel 1, I'm like, all right, we're doing like as close to 100% runs as possible.
Yeah.
Which I think is pretty good, but like,
heck yeah.
So actually, speaking of the difference in difficulties, like I think we're also noticing there's the combat in this game.
Yeah,
it feels a little more complicated.
Yes,
because I just came off of speed running Cold Steel like crazy, and crafts are king.
Oh yeah,
in Cold Steel, like there turns into a point where you just stop casting spells. You don't need arts like at all, but like because you're just doing crafts. But here, back in 0, like even S crafts aren't guaranteeing kills.
Right.
Combo crafts usually will, but like the S craft, like Noel's S craft hits like a wet paper bag in a tornado.
Oh my god,
like,
yeah, it does.
It does like 1100 damage.
God, if even.
It's insane, but like combat feels like it's significantly ramped up in complexity. But I notice that I have more tools. Like 3 of my 4 characters have an impede. I have a lot more statuses to work with. The major downsides are, since it's still early in the game, I don't have all my slots unlocked, so all my quartz don't fit. And so because arts are based on like the amount of certain quartz that you have as opposed to specific quartz giving you certain arts, like I don't have access. I don't have access to a way of removing status effects.
Right.
Which is really stressful.
Yeah, no doubt. You gotta rely on items for a bit. Oh
my god, it's stressing me, man. But yeah, like I like it though. Like it's a good difficulty for me. I'm sure someone's gonna be like, well, actually, combat can be completely trivialized if you're not an idiot. But I am an idiot, so I can't do that. I'm sorry.
Same. I'm going to switch my difficulty to easy.
Oh my gosh.
Imagine.
Take me with you. Take me with you. I need it.
I got us.
Excellent. But Zero, or Azure, I'm just looking at the word Zero, but Azure also has a lot of really nice quality of life things. The Geofront team is just did a great job. And okay, we now have a note saying that the game is called Azure. Thank you. It's highlighted. Perfect. Now it's blue. But yeah, the BGM info pop-ups. Oh my god. Why doesn't every video game have that?
Right. Oh, man.
Like every video game should have that. It is
Agreed.
The best feature I've ever seen in any video game. Like, I'm sorry. I'm like, it's just like the best feature. Yeah, and I'm surprised it's only these two games that have it.
The man is very passionate about his music. I do wonder if, at least on PC, I don't know about the PS4 versions, but I do kind of wonder if Cold Steel adopts that maybe by like the third game, and like has that setting, at least on the Steam version. I would be kind of surprised. Yeah, I would be very surprised if none of the Cold Steel games don't have it. I figure, the first one, was localized and put out and whatnot, like a little like too late before they even considered that, but yeah, maybe the second onwards. I'm imagining though it'll probably be the third onwards.
Yeah, that would be a good assessment, I would say. But like, it's something I know that it's something the Geofront team did originally.
Yeah,
and so I don't know if it would be in any of the Cold Steels, but it would be really interesting if we see it in Reverie.
Oh yeah.
But that and the chat log.
Oh my gosh.
Like, the chat log's so nice. It's just every
for
video game
of reasons.
Just every video game needs the chat. Oh yeah, because you could replace voice lines. Oh my god, that's the best. It's the factual best.
The greatest feature.
But yeah, like, it's just, why doesn't every video game have this? It's so nice. Right. And I would love if more, please. Thanks. Awesome. Great. There's like 1 billion buttons on a controller. Just pick one.
Right.
Who uses select?
Right. Yeah. That's the thing with these RPGs, right? Like a lot of the buttons do kind of go unused. It's like the control stick, a confirm button, a cancel button. And if it's a port, then maybe you get your turbo button too. Because I know that's a little more common among many RPGs nowadays.
Yeah.
And that's kind of it.
I mean, hell, like, I guess the D-pad is used for movement in a lot of these, in addition to the joystick.
Yeah.
But for like full 3D games, like, you have a D-pad. Just do something with it. Right.
Yep.
The only other gameplay note I have is for like the on-field, like, actual bonking of enemies. It took me a hot minute to remember that was a thing, and B, you only stun if you shoot them from behind.
Oh, really?
I completely forgot that was a mechanic.
That's funny. Too many speedruns, huh?
Oh my god, yeah. Because again, I'm like level 99 in these speedruns, so like,
yeah, they just get deleted now, right? Where you're at.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So they just deleted, and I'm like, wait, why is this not stunning? I'm so confused. And someone's like, you have to be behind them. Obviously. I'm like, oh yeah. And then I watched you just do it instantly. I'm like, because you're smart.
But like we've established before, my brain just kind of, holds on to the most random things.
Yeah.
And speaking of random things, see, this is something that I forgot. Maybe you remember. On-field breakables. Were those always like? Was that a thing in Zero as well? Like, could you run around and just break crates and vases?
I don't remember.
Right? I don't think it was a thing.
I know there was like just stuff on the ground on the highways,
Yes.
but I don't think there were like breakables.
Right.
Like, I walked past a few like weird rocks, and I'm like, and there was a box, and like, oh, I shoot the box. Oh my god, the box blew up. It's the best day ever. And then there's like some weird rocks in the prologue, and I just kind of ignored them. And someone's like, you could break the rocks. I'm like, oh,
I don't think I noticed them in the prologue. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I just kind of like saw them, and I'm like, oh, weird rocks, and didn't think anything of it. Speaking of which, though, dude, that prologue.
Woo! They throw you right into it. Honestly, I would assume that it's at least partially because of that why you didn't even notice the master quartz right away, because you know, like it immediately is like, hey, you're on the outskirts of Calvard, and and you are chasing down people you know, and it's like, whoa, wait a second, I got questions. Like, even though I think the first text you actually see is the like the approximate date, I was still like, when is this happening? Like, how long has it been? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, because like it's August. Which was, I want to say 2 months after. It was like 2 or 3 months after the end of Zero.
Yeah. It's God. I should fact check that.
Yeah. Editor Eric, if that's not correct, please fix that in post. Thanks. See, I'm hoping Editor Eric just doesn't do anything there, and then I will just have been right. That's the optimal line, because then I don't have to do any more work.
True.
But yeah, like I thought this was going to be like an in media res prologue. Kind of like how Zero starts in like the finale and Cold Steel starts in like chapter 5. I thought this was like a flash forward. Right. Because like Arios was there. We were like level 40 something. Like stuff was happening. But that was just the prologue. But yeah, we're chasing down okay, I have him written down as Elmer. I know that's not his name.
Ernest.
Thank you. I could never remember his name, but honestly, he can't remember to have ambition, so it's fine.
That's fair. Yeah.
Cause we're chasing him down, and his evil plot is to become the mayor and just to have Ellie be his secretary. And he's using like red gnosis and like turning into a giant demon to do that.
Yeah. It's so weird.
It's so funny. It's why he's a bit villain. He has nothing beyond bit villain like ambition.
Yeah, God.
He's out here.
Ernest definitely hurt me.
He's out here acting like he's Skeletor, but he's like Skeletor's pet Furby or something. I don't know. I don't know He-Man lore very well. Skeletor was the first villain that popped into my head for some reason.
No, I love that. I love that a lot.
But yeah, like we go into like that super cool limestone cave. I thought it was like a salt cave or something.
Yeah, when I heard you say that, like my brain started just going off.
yeah, you were saying something. I'm trying to remember what it was.
I like if it had been salt, and I mean there still might be some sort of crazy connection, but like I started being like, oh my god, like the title of the game, or the I guess subtitle, is Trails to Azure, and Crow pilots the Azure Knight, and what happened to Jorai SEZ, because I think that's like, I don't know, like I guess that's where he's from, because he took high offense with Osborne over whatever that might have occurred over there. But I remember in Sky Third, behind one of the doors, there is a story on like a giant like salt, I almost want to say pike, but like I guess like a pillar of sorts, like
the big nail,
the stake, or whatever it is. Yeah, it just showed up and like basically disintegrated everything and everyone that lived there or whatever, and nobody knows what happened with it. But that was the thing, right? It was made of salt. So when you were like, oh, salt cave, and I was like, oh my god, salt, like.
I didn't even think about that.
Right? Yeah. I was just like, oh my God, like what if this game like leads up to the events of what's it called? I guess Crow getting the Azure Knight somewhere maybe around Crossbell. Like of course this is the assumption though that there is a giant piece of armor sitting somewhere in Crossbell or on the outskirts of it somewhere.
Well, here's something we know though. We know he has it already because he says he's had it for 3 years, but we don't know where he keeps it.
Right.
So
okay,
it could
for
be
years then.
Yeah. He's like, I've been piloting this for 3 years, or however it is Crow talks.
Right.
I'm gonna steal your 50 mirror.
Dang. Okay. If it was like a significantly lesser period of time that he had it for, then there might be some.
The Cold Steel event that's happening currently with the stuff that's happening in the prologue and first chapter is the Heimdallr Summer Festival. That's
right.
That like the Imperial Liberation Front is doing their first, wow, we exist.
Right. Thing. Okay.
And we're gonna beat up a bone dragon. Never forget the bone dragon.
Shout out. Oh my gosh.
We love the bone dragon in this house. But yeah, so like we beat up Ernest. And then he turns into no, we beat up some weird angel demon things that he summons. And then and then he drops a boulder on a bridge to split the party. My favorite thing about that scene is it's like, oh, there's another path, and then the camera pans like 2 feet to the left.
Right.
And it's like, oh, how did we not see that? Oh my God.
Silly, honestly.
And it makes me think that like Lloyd just really needs glasses. He just has no peripheral vision whatsoever.
Not at all. Nope.
It would explain quite a few things. Oh my God. We'll get to that.
For sure.
Yeah. But yeah, so we do more dungeon, blah, blah, blah. We flip a couple levers. And then we have to fight Ernest. And he morbs, turns into a cool werewolf. And then we beat up a werewolf. And then he turns into the final boss from the last game. But like silver. And we beat him up again. But this time we actually have cool party members who can do damage.
Right.
Dude, that fight was so miserable and hard. The first one was super rough.
Oh yeah, when he's like the werewolf or whatever.
Yeah, because you just have Lloyd and Noel, and he has like 18,000 HP and hits like a truck.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. You were like, "Oh my God, he has like 4K less HP here."
Dude,
I was like, "Really?"
I'm like, "Oh my God, it's so rude." And so like, yeah, you do that. We have premium. Oh yeah. And he's like captured Speaker Hartman.
Yeah.
Who has the most premium screams in the whole world. Yeah. Like, dude's VA was having a whole time.
I hope he got paid very well.
Dude, I hope he did too. But that's one of the best parts of the chat log too.
True. Yep.
You could just replay those screams over and over. They make good alert noises.
You're not lying. Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah. And then the villain shows up.
Good old onion-haired Kevin Graham.
Frickin' he shows up doing his best Cassius Bright impression and steals the boss for us.
What a jerk.
And then he shows off, oh yes, my stigma is blue now.
Yo, honestly, I don't think, like, his appearance aside, I don't think anything else would have made me madder than him flaunting that stigma and just bringing back all of those memories.
Dude,
alone.
Dude, I was sitting there and I'm like, oh my God, why are you here?
Right.
And then we find out he's banned from entering Crossbell, which is the best news I ever received.
Honestly, yeah. I was very happy to hear that.
And Reese was there.
Yeah,
with nuts.
That was nice.
She had a bag of nuts.
Yeah.
She's like, how many nuts do you want? Oh, I want the whole bag. That's a lot of nuts. I'm sorry. There are like 3 people who remember Kung Pao Enter the Fist. That joke was for you. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Sure.
Do you know what
actually.
Hold on. You've never seen Kung Pao Enter the Fist? A phenomenal movie directed, written, and starring Steve Odekirk?
No.
All right, hold on. We're going to have an aside about Kung Pao Enter the Fist, which is my favorite movie from the early 2000s. Okay, so it is a parody dub of a kung fu flick whose name escapes me right now, but I used to know it off the top of my head. And it's just basically like making fun of bad dubs of kung fu movies, and it's amazing. The main villain is Betty. Like he's just a guy named Betty. He he has gopher chucks at one point. And it's amazing, but like all they have like half the footage is like from this old footage movie, and then half the footage is new actors that are like inserted into those movies with green screen.
Oh my god.
And it's amazing. And one of my favorite things, the DVD special features, is an audio track of what they actually said. Which, the actors that they got, like, it's like, so Steve Odekirk and all the actors that they like made the movie with to add into the old movie, like they were dubbed over as well. And so they had this actors on set say completely different lines. Like they were ad-libbing a lot of it. And so they have an audio track of the stuff they said on set. And so the audio track is like you have the original audio of the Japanese kung fu movie interspersed with the American actors saying gibberish.
That is amazing.
Oh yeah.
What?
One of my favorite like movie speeches of all time is actually from that, where in the movie at that point he's like, Betty is killing people, and that's bad and wrong. There should be a new, stronger word for killing, like bad wrong or badong. Yes, killing is badong. And but like in the what he actually said, so like the thing that matches his lip movements, he's like, there was once a boy who had a keen sense for local news. And it goes on for like an extra 3 minutes because he just kept going. It's by far like one of my favorite. I love this movie. We have to watch it. We have to.
we have to.
I can't like. Oh my god! I'm so glad you get to experience this movie for the first time.
I'm so scared.
You have no idea how happy this is making me. Anyway, back to Trails to Azure. Now that we've had yet another 10-minute aside. That wasn't 10 minutes. It was like 3, but like still, we should probably talk about the game we're here to talk about.
So happiness to see Risa's side. She's on a mission to do. Yeah, she's undercover in not Crossbell, in Calvard right now, and yeah, it's a little scary because I think Kevin's concerned, and he's never concerned.
My understanding was she's going to go undercover into Crossbell.
Oh,
like that was my understanding of that conversation. Like
I think you're right. I might have misread that.
Calvard. Yeah.
Right. Oh, okay. For some reason, I don't know what was or wasn't said that gave me the idea that like Kevin was basically going to go home and she was staying in Calvert to go undercover for something. You're probably
feel like
right.
You were just really mad that Kevin exists, and it was just blinding you.
I gotta go rewatch that scene.
The aside I want to make sure that we point out for a later thing is that Dudley and Arios drove back to Crossbell with Ernest and Hartman in his car. We're just going to put a pin in that. It'll be important later. But yeah, we get back to Crossbell on the train. It's great. And we meet Ellie and Kia. And I noticed Ellie had different dialogue for you because you picked her for your final bond in Zero.
Yes.
And I have a feeling we're going to get a lot of branching dialogue in this game based on our choices in Zero.
Yeah, right. Actually, shoot, that being said, I mean, was there any other sort of like decisions we made in Zero that might have carried over besides that last one?
I noticed that there were some people who were like, hey, you helped me, blah, 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 which I'm pretty sure were optional quests.
Right.
So I feel like your overall detective rank and specifically what optional content you did or did not do.
Right.
Sorry, Ev. Hiccups.
No, you're good.
Will affect probably just incidental dialogue.
Yeah, of course.
But
that's wild.
Yeah, I'm thinking I think that's one of the reasons that they might not have done the Crossbell games.
That makes sense.
For so long, because I have a feeling there's just an obnoxious amount of dialogue in this game.
Right. Yeah. Oh man. Dang.
Well, yeah, man. We got the prologue, and then it goes slam into the opening cutscene, which was amazing.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, beautiful.
Absolutely incredible.
Oh shoot! That freaking reminds me.
Yeah.
There was somebody I saw in that opening too, and I called them out immediately. I was like, "Hold on, wait a second. And I'm blanking on who it was I saw. Oh my gosh! I mean, it's probably for the better.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
It was significant. Oh,
I remember being like, "Wait, what the hell are they doing in this cutscene?" And then like,
right.
I feel like my brain like auto censored these spoilers for me. Thank you, brain. Very cool.
Appreciate it.
My cat is playing in my IKEA bag. So you will definitely hear noises from that. But yeah. So, Wazzy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, we didn't talk about Wazzy. First off, he's got the drip.
Yeah, yo.
Granted, he sold it from Kingdom Hearts 1 Sora, but like he pulls it off.
Oh yeah, better than honestly.
Oh yeah. But that zipper front shirt, that's Sora's, like straight up.
Oh yeah,
you cannot tell me it's
not. Oh yeah, it is.
But like the blue scarf, oh God, he looks so good.
Yeah, he does.
And he's a cop now, so I'm like, that's insane. And he rounds out our party of 4 for the beginning of the game, and it's wild. But yeah, like then we move into chapter 1, and we're back in Crossbell proper, and it's my safe space. I've never felt so happy being in a digital location. I know I said this earlier. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just like over here sobbing silently, just being happy about Crossbell.
No, you're fine. Like we were saying earlier, it brought on these real like large feelings of nostalgia. It was like, oh my God, like we're finally back. We're here at Crossbell. This is home. Like Eric said too, like it's just kind of going into it already knowing all of like, I guess all of the spots. I was going to say like all of the major spots, but shoot, even some of the smaller ones as well. Just literally knowing each nook and cranny of the city. And its surrounding area too. Like it's just nice. And then the music hits, and of course, like the music is the same. Maybe at best there are some subtle differences between Zero and Azure for the familiar spots, but just hearing the music again and being like, oh my God, like this. Oh, like even walking into that silly casino, I was like, oh yeah.
Oh, dude. Yeah, the entertainment district with that jazzy, like that jazzy theme is like like I freaking love it.
Like just good spot, good music, great everything, good people. Well, it's crazy I say good people considering, Crossbell is corrupt as all hell. But like just well, good locals.
Definitely.
It's nice.
You can go into the back alley and just vibe back there. Where else? I went to a lot of like the little random secret nooks. They're still there.
Mm-hmm.
The secret nooks are still there. Like you can still get in that little back area in the like the expensive apartments. That little back area is still there. It's got more now. Oh, there are more secret areas. Like you can get into the backstage area of like all the shops now, and like there's a staircase. There's a staircase in the back of the Long Lao that leads to a treasure chest, and then there's another staircase. Like there's another secret staircase.
What?
Like, there's just multiple secret staircases in the secret area, and it's just the game it just definitely rewarded you for remembering old places that you couldn't get to before, that it's now opened, and now you have more access to more places, and it's
I'm definitely about to do some more running around because there is no way.
Oh yeah, like it just made me really happy, man. I'm just thrilled. But yeah, like you got all that. We sent I think the chapter starts. We send Kia to Sunday school.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got a couple quests. One thing I noticed that didn't get brought up again, but when we were getting Kia ready for Sunday school, she was like doing homework, right? And then Wazzy kind of looks over and has like a, huh? It's like, oh, the curriculum seems much more advanced. And I'm like, what was she doing?
Right.
Like Wazzy's playing something close to the vest, and I really want to know what's going on there.
Yeah, like why keep that a secret? Oh gosh.
Well, A, it's Wazzy, so like
that's the first thing.
Yeah, but B, I don't know that he knows enough to like make that. Like, I don't know how much Wazzy knows of like Kia's situation. That's something I don't know if that's like a been on like a need to know, or Lloyd and Ellie literally just blab the whole story to him. Like, I know he was there for part of it.
Yeah. Like I think only as it pertains to Joaquin, I guess.
Yeah,
I think it's just been that stuff.
Yeah. So I don't know. So that's something again that's definitely going to get brought up. There's like the Master Quartz quest where we get the other two Master Quartz. Nothing really fancy going on there. Lecter though.
Oh my god.
So we knew Lecter went to Crossbell during the events of Cold Steel.
Yes.
I think we even knew why he was there. I think it's just to be like, all right, let's just do a safe. I think it was just like a safety check, basically.
Pretty much.
At least that's all we knew really from what we got from the Cold Steel situation.
Yeah.
But
correct.
We basically end up chasing them all around town. He almost gets us tricked into working at the dang restaurant.
Yo, that part was crazy. I was like, wait, am I about to enter a mini game where I'm
Dude almost
right
finessed us into a cooking mini game. Oh my god. But then we get to the casino and he has this like feral lost child. Shirley?
Yep, Shirley, yeah.
And how about you talk about this scene? I don't know how to talk about this scene.
She's a criminal, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
she literally approaches Ellie all swift like kind of like certain individuals we've definitely seen time and time again.
Who have swift, blurry motions and only them.
Yeah, she takes full advantage of the situation and I guess gets a little feel of Ellie there.
Yeah.
And
well, don't forget she literally sniffs and like nibbles on Lloyd first.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I couldn't believe it.
And then Ellie's mad at him.
Yeah. I wish I knew Japanese proper because I definitely recognized the phrase
it was
she used in her actual voice line.
It was wait a second.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So it's a translation thing where in the original Japanese she's like cho tomate, or like, you know, please don't make fun of my Japanese, it's awful. But like which basically is like, hey, wait a minute, hey, wait a second. Right. Or rough equivalent. But the translation puts it as Lloyd in all caps, all spaced out, like she's her annoyance face. Yeah. And I honestly, I think it kind of it makes sense based on kind of how we know.
Yeah, their relationship kind of
like how their relationship works, because that's the exact same line I had. I actually was wondering if the dialogue would be different for you, but it wasn't.
Right.
And
oh man,
and like it's interesting because I feel like her yelling at Lloyd it feels more along the lines of what I know of Ellie's character than if she would have just been like, well, wait a second. Like, I feel like it lines up more with how I understand her.
Agreed.
But like, it's not a direct literal translation. And
yeah.
Do we want to get into that?
Just like what, like translation in general?
Yeah. Do we want to get into that, or do we like? I feel like we could get into that for a really long time.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
Why don't we table that? That could be like its own podcast.
Yeah.
That could definitely be its own podcast. So look forward to that at some point in the future. We have a couple. We have a couple podcast topics for the future.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like Shirley, this sassy lost criminal child, gropes Ellie and bites and nibbles on Lloyd and sniffs everyone. She's like, I smell it on you and you, but not as much. And I'm like, what is she smelling?
I wonder, like, because my understanding and anticipation based off of trailers and just, of course, like the appearance of the character, I'm like, you're related to Randy. Are you smelling Randy? Would this be a little bit different if we had selected Randy as, you know, our second, like our upgraded S-Craft person, if we got to his second scene?
Oh my God.
I'm really curious about that.
She smells Randy more on Lloyd than Ellie, because we all know that Randy and Lloyd is the one canonical pairing that the game actually likes.
Exactly.
But like, I didn't think about that. I assumed it had something to do with Kia.
There's a chance of that too. Like if they are here looking, well, actually, I guess that'd be kind of
specifically asks up about her.
That is true. But like, if he knows that, right? Like, obviously, like if he knows whatever it is he knows about Kia, which is presumably everything, why would he then kind of like withhold that from the person he seems to be sort of more like watching over? Like I think he's spying on her. As opposed to it being like a we're working together kind of thing. I think he's like spying on her.
I'm not sure. That's actually a really good point. I just kind of assumed that she was like another of the iron-blooded children we haven't run into yet. But yeah, actually, because she kind of fits the same mold in my head as Milliam, of the hyperactive, like precocious kid. But like, I guess,
yeah. But even go ahead.
No, I think like, yeah, like they even mention, I think Lloyd mentions, it doesn't seem like they're work. Like, he doesn't seem like, he even says like, she doesn't seem like the kind of person that Lecter would normally work with. And I'm like,
right.
Yeah, but also Milliam does have kind of a different air. I don't know.
Yeah, like I was gonna contrast it as well with Milliam and be like, well, with the brief interaction we see between Lecter and Milliam, like they actually do sort of acknowledge each other as coworkers. And Milliam seems to actually sort of like switch up being annoying even a little bit and will kind of give Lecter that bit of respect, and kind of sort of vice versa in his weird Lecter way. Whereas with Shirley, Lecter more so seemed to kind of just like let her do whatever it is she wants, and he'll kind of entertain it.
Yeah, that's actually a really interesting thing that I didn't even pick up on. That's big.
Yeah. I think that's my assumption. I think he's spying on her, and obviously she's connected to the big hulking dude we later see.
Yeah, because they were together in the prologue, or not the prologue, the intro scene.
Yeah.
We can talk about him next. There's like an optional side quest we can talk about later with cars, but like, so we go on the way to the police station. We're going along West Crossbell Highway, and we see this huge dude with red hair staring at the train tracks, and he's like, "It is coming," and like the train goes past, and the game does something really interesting at this point where
so freaking mean.
It is mean. It pans across the train and just like shows you the inside of the train, and then the dude turns around, he's like, "Boy, how many people?" And I'm like, all right, well, haha, it's like Lloyd's gonna answer. No, it asks us.
Yeah, that was so mean.
And I'm like, oh, dude, honestly, the thing about that I find really interesting, like, because at the end of this conversation, the whole party's like, what was that? That guy was insane. And like, I'm like, I kind of got a feeling of that from having like a big number, like input counter put in front of me. I'm like, oh, dude's giving me a brand new thing to interact with. Holy hell.
True.
And like,
oh God,
like, and that's something I found really interesting, was it gave us, the player, a taste of like that uneasiness, like, because it's something completely unexpected, something like completely insane, and it's nuts.
So what you're saying is you're anticipating that we're going to need to count again in the future.
I don't know.
Oh, I hope not. I can't do it, man. I don't know how to count. I can't read.
Right? Dude, even when I was watching you do that, like, I knew it was coming, and I counted wrong.
Holy smokes.
Like, I was missing one. Okay, I think, though, it counts, like, we don't see the conductor, but I assume maybe, like, the conductor, because I was off by one. I'm like, well, maybe I missed one, or maybe they were supposed to add one because we know the conductor exists.
It's funny. I didn't account for him at all.
Did you get it right?
When I did. My first time I was off by one, and it's literally because I missed somebody. And then like the second time I accidentally counted too high. I don't know how I did that, but counted too high the second time, and then finally, third time's the charm. I got 52. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But yeah. Like I was like, holy hell! I must have just missed someone then. And
maybe,
I assume,
because I think like it's very easy to miss, or at least I definitely did several times. I think in one of the latter two cars, there's somebody who sits kind of like in the top, like left as the screen is fading. And so it's very easy to, because there's like, there are other parts of the train that kind of get in the way of your view of them. And God, tricky trains.
Yeah. But like that dude, and then we see that like he had like soloed 5 of that giant bug monster or whatever.
Yeah. He took our quest.
He took our quest. We did not get paid for that.
Right.
I am very mad about it.
They kind of, I think, amplified the scenario a little bit in the dialogue for it, where I think we were told to exterminate like one of them, and there were like 5.
Bunch. Yeah. And it's like, oh my God. And it's like, and the thing that's interesting is like they're like dismembered too. Like it was like violent. And it's also something because like a lot of times monster remains like just vanish.
Right.
And I think that's like an actual thing that happens.
Yeah, I believe so too.
And so the fact that these didn't is like a big deal. So I don't know, man. That guy's intimidating. He doesn't play by the rules, and I'm scared.
Yeah. What did they describe his weapon as? Like something like some sort of giant axe type. Okay, yeah.
Like a literal hatchet.
Oh,
but big. Man. I'm scared.
I'm not looking forward to fighting him.
Yeah.
It's inevitable, and I'm not ready.
But that's as far as we got like in the main quest.
Yeah. Freaking. I mean, if you actually, I think the main quest does bring you to this while you're looking around for Lecter. But
yes.
Yeah. So, upon meeting our good old news reporter friend, we also run into freaking Xiao Li. And so if you didn't already know this from last game, I guess spoilers ahead, but Ravachi has been given the boot, the good old mob, they're gone. And so their building was up for grabs. And of course, you got a lot of people probably trying to, take the building for themselves. And it seems like the people who are going to get it are Heiwei, the people who run the rival gang in Crossbell. And that's scary.
Oh, yeah. Because like Grace said something like, oh, they'll be able to consolidate all of the power of the underworld in Crossbell. I'm like, what does the building do for them?
Right.
In that situation? Like, they can technically do it from their current building, but like, I don't know. Like, maybe the building's got like underground, like more underground routes that we're not aware of.
Maybe
because like it's got a whole underground network of stuff. Like there's a lot of stuff in that building. It's a big building. So like, I also love the fact that I ran into the real estate guy earlier. Because if you like run back there, you can talk to the real estate guy. He's like, I'm trying to get rid of this building. You wouldn't believe the cost of maintenance on this thing. And I'm like, just thinking like, yeah, they got like electrified floors. They got like a little like moat.
Oh yeah.
Could you imagine being the guy who got tricked into like taking that building, the like poor real estate agent? He's like, oh, this is prime real estate. I'm going to make so much money. He gets like that first month utility bill. He's like, how did we use a whole river of water? Where's it going? Is it in the walls? Like, because they just don't know how to get to the murder basement.
Right.
It's like, where is it? Oh my God. That's because he's like probably like, oh, it's kind of like a rundown house with like a couple warehouses, but it's important warehouses.
Yeah.
And like doesn't know how to get to any of the secret stuff. Like, oh, that would be hilarious.
Oh God, I gotta see a reality where that happens.
Oh yeah. But yeah, that's kind of like a big deal. That's probably going to come up a little bit later.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And the last thing I wanted to talk about, like story or quest wise, was there's the hidden quest that we did with the speeding car guy and the Fast and the Furious reference.
Oh my God.
I love that quest. I love all the little memes and things, like the little references they put in.
There were so many
for the quest things and all the chest notifications. I know you hate them, but they're like one of my favorite parts.
I'm never looking at another one of those stupid things again.
It's okay. I'm going to look at all of them for us.
Let's go.
That way you'll get the choice ones.
Let's go. Yes.
But yeah, I like that one because it reminds us that Lloyd's actually really smart. And like, even if we give the wrong answer, Lloyd's like, no. I'm not going to say that out loud. That's stupid. Where like every other pro tag would say it out loud, like immediately.
That is true.
Like Lloyd's like, no, that ain't right. Hold on. And then so he just takes a few extra seconds to think. And I'm like, I really appreciate that little detail about Lloyd Bannings.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about Lloyd Bannings.
Oh, no.
Professional bag dropper. Dude, I missed him. I really did.
I did too.
He's my favorite pro tag. I still hold that. Like, dude has a brain cell. Like, he's just really good with everyone. He's very good at like taking on leadership roles. I just love him so damn much.
Yeah. Lloyd's a good dude.
What a cool guy.
He's a fool, but he's a good dude.
He is a fool. Dude does not understand a romantic thing in the world, but
nope.
That's why he's professional bag dropper, Lloyd Bannings. I also love how Noel's clearly developing feelings for him, like in real time.
Oh my god, yeah.
And he is completely oblivious to it.
Yeah, it's gonna be doomsday for him in the SSS building.
Oh, he's got a problem. He's got a real problem.
Yep.
Even Wazzy's like all up in his business at one point.
Oh yeah, true. Oh my gosh. I had questions for him like during some of the interactions with other NPCs. Like when you go to I guess the Bannings house or apartment and you speak with his aunt. And out of nowhere, he like surmised that he had an interesting relationship with Cecil. And I was like, where did you get that information just now? Nobody said anything pertaining to the two of them, like, you know, I guess growing up together or anything. You know, like nobody said anything. Why are you all of a sudden just...
I think he's extrapolating. I feel like Wazzy knows a lot more because I feel like he had like a pretty good information network.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
As like the leader of the Testaments and whatever the hell else he did. But I think he also uses that for like petty gossip a lot.
God.
Like that feels like a thing that he would do, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And so like Wazzy is a really interesting character. And I guess, you know, this is a good time to talk about him as well. Like he's a really interesting character because he's kind of like this. I don't want to use the word anti-hero, but he's like a villain protagonist.
Right.
Kinda, where like he started off as a gang leader, but like him and Wide Walled are like, or whatever his actual name is, I don't know. The Mohawk dude.
Walled,
Walled, yeah. And he like those two clearly kind of like had an actual brain. Like,
yeah.
Because if you go over to the Wald's bar, he's like, oh, ever since Wazzy left, he hasn't been around at all, and we don't know what to do, and we're just spinning our wheels, blah, blah, blah. And like, you can tell, like, kind of like the difference in leadership styles that they both had over their gangs. Yes. Where the Testaments are like, all right, well, we're going to turn this into a real business and have ourselves a good time. The Street Vipers or whatever, Viper Snakes. Yeah, them. Vipers. Oh my God. Like the something Vipers, and they're like just sitting there spinning their wheels, not doing anything. And I think that speaks a lot to Wazzy and Wald as leaders of their respective gangs, that one of them is trying to be a productive thing and the other just still being thugs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, and and so yeah, like I don't know. I'm really glad that we're gonna get more Wazzy because I kind of really wanted to know what more of what his deal was.
Yeah, and I think him being kind of brought into the fold in this game, we're probably going to see a lot more of him in the future too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Noelle, speaking of her from earlier though, she's got a new outfit and it is oh boy.
Snazzy.
I've said this once, I've said it 1,000 times. I have a severe weakness for women wearing ties. And that outfit's good.
Yeah, it
is solid. I love the hat. Actually,
yeah, it brings it together.
Yeah, the hat works. I'm a big fan of it. But no, I love that she's a permanent character, like a main party member in this, because like she has a AoE which is larger than Tio's was for her normal attack. She's not the best caster or attacker, but
yeah,
she's good at statuses.
That is true. Yep.
And I'm a big fan. I don't know. A lot of people told me that she wasn't good in Zero when I like to use her a lot. But then
really?
I'm like, but have you ever used Noelle? She's great.
Yeah. What? Well, I highly disagree. She was fantastic.
Yeah.
Like I remember the first time we get her in the party, and I think that was at the Stargazer Tower.
That sounds accurate enough.
Right? Yeah. And I remember like one of the first things somebody had suggested to me was actually to sub her in because, you know, the guns, especially like on field and in combat, like just that alone, like that's huge.
Who do you use for the on field like attacks normally?
Well, currently I'm running around with Ellie, but like I'm starting to miss with their bullets because I am trash at aiming, apparently. Fair. So I'm probably going to be running around with Lloyd again and just like swinging at things.
I use Ellie most of the time, even though I'm bad at aiming, because I just feel like getting screwed into combat is an apt punishment for being bad at aiming.
That's fair.
And do not
make the game a little extra hard.
Yeah, do not feel like learning, because I don't know, I got used to the timing on her gun, I guess, and then I'm like, I don't feel like learning another character. Like I always just kind of pick one character and they're my on field all the time character.
Right. Yeah, no, that's extremely fair.
So Ellie, we've talked about Ellie a lot already, and I'm a big fan of I just like that she's back. I love that.
Yeah.
She's like she's the first OG member to kind of be like, all right, Lloyd's back, let's go.
Right. Yep. Love that.
She's definitely the brain cell in the group half the time, which is nice.
Well,
she keeps us organized. She keeps us like, because Lloyd's not dumb, but like she's like, okay, guys, focus, please.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, just herding cats. Kia's still cute. Super glad that she's still around. We got to talk with her a little bit. Also, if you went up to the Sunday school, you get to talk to her more, which is great.
Yeah, get to interrupt class.
You've added a note here. Sully a trade?
Yes. She is the girl that you chase down when you're helping Ilya and well, actually just Ilya. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so she was, you know, pretty unimportant, I guess, after the fact. And all of a sudden now she's here with a brand spanking new portrait, which is the first sign of, oh, you're maybe important now.
Yes. The guild secretary person.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
What's the name?
What's his name? No.
Michael.
I love him. Oh yes. I call him freaking Michelle.
Michelle. Yeah. Oh my God. He's so swole.
Yo. Yeah. I kind of figured because, you know, his sprite has the, you know, the open jacket, right? So I was like, okay, he's like, you know, a kind of muscular dude at least. A little on the flamboyant side. He's rocking that pink, you know. I'm like, okay, cool. But when I saw his face, like in the art, I was like, yo,
dude's literally the Chad meme.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, I was like, oh my God, you're amazing. It was incredible. So yeah, like a few extra characters have portraits now that didn't in the last game, and I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah.
And so that's actually really interesting. The last note I have here is for Dudley. So Dudley, after the prologue, goes on a bogus journey to Liberl.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And I was talking about this because I found this hilarious. I like to think that he just took his car and drove to Liberl like an insane person because he loves his car, right?
Oh yeah.
And like he's like, of course I'm not going to take the airship. I'll take my car. And then so he'll go through, you know, Arabonia, go south of Legram, and he gets to what is that, the Hackos Gate, I think.
Yep. Yeah.
And then he gets to make a choice. He can either go through the Kine mountain path,
yes,
which is awful, or Roland, and then he just gets to learn that they've not maintained their roads for vehicles because everyone travels by airship in Liberl.
Yep, exactly.
And so I just like to think that he's like bumping along, like with his suspension dying slowly.
Gotta be. He's gotta be. He's
just having.
He's gonna take a while to get back home.
Just having a real bad time. My favorite part, because someone pointed this out to me, is if he goes, because like Liberl's a circle, right? So he could like take the pretty reasonable, you know, Bose to Roland to Gransel, right? That's like the reasonable short route. But you know, maybe he's thinking, oh, I'm not in this area very often. I'll check out the ocean. And so, you know, he goes Bose to Ruan to Zeiss to Gransel. But the road, so obviously the mountain path, so he's got exploding eggs. The eggs don't explode in Crossbell, but they do in Liberl. So he's got exploding eggs he's running over and all the crap in the mountain path. And then he gets to the Zeiss tunnel. Do you remember what's at the end of the Zeiss tunnel? It's a door.
Oh
with
my
a staircase.
Oh, you're freaking right. Yo.
And so he'd get to the end of the tunnel, realize he can't go any further, and has to turn around.
That's it.
I'm sorry. I made this like whole scenario up in my head, but like it's the funniest thing I've ever thought. I just need like, are you familiar with the Guardsman's Quest like YouTube video meme? Where it's just like a 40K guardsman, and he just like is going left to right through on the screen through more and more ridiculous background images, and it's just got this. No,
actually,
it's like I'll have to link you the video. It's like
it's
like old internet humor, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like not, it's like weird and absurdist, and I love it. I'm just imagining that, but with Dudley just misadventuring through Liberl. It doesn't mean anything. It just makes me laugh.
Yo, we're not about to see Dudley for the rest of this game with that journey,
dude. We really aren't. Man's just gonna be stuck there forever. He's not even going to get to Gransel before, you know, they all have to leave for the trade conference. He's just going to be still on the mountain path. Just mad as hell. Are there any other characters? We got like, there's like a few other townies, like Rishia's back. Yo, we got Rishia internal dialogue.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Which I was like, yo, because we know she's Yin. The party doesn't know that, but we know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then when
apparently,
Lecter,
sorry, go ahead.
And then like when Lecter was like, oh my God, who's that shadowy figure? I'm like, dude, she's not over there. She's in practice. I just saw her.
Right. Yeah, I was curious about that too. I was like, did he actually see something? But I guess I guess I shouldn't be surprised. Of course, he knows about the existence of Yin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but at the time, I was definitely like, wait a second, did he actually see her? Like, what?
Right.
Is she on a job right now? But I was like, wait a second, that doesn't make sense because of what you said.
Yeah, well, we had that internal dialogue of we know she's like, yeah, I haven't had work lately.
Yeah, which interesting point, of course, is that Heiwei has no reason to contact Yin right now, which is okay. All right, interesting.
Yeah, well, they're acting above board more or less right now.
That is true too. Yeah.
Yeah. What were you going to say about Rishia? I'm sorry. I feel like I accidentally cut you off there.
Oh, no, you're good. It was that point
okay,
actually about the fact that she hasn't even called. Yeah, no, you're good.
Yeah, and she also brings up an interesting point that Ilya noticed that she was moving better because she's not sleep deprived.
Right.
I can't believe she's still living like in the hyper cheap apartments in the downtown district.
Yeah, right. Yo,
yeah.
I thought that's interesting.
And then like Imelda, the old lady who runs the pawn shop, she's still kicking and having a grand old time.
Yep, and she's got her own little information network, which jogged my memory on a really cool game feature. Recipes.
Oh, yeah.
You can just find those now. Like, thank God. Like, oh my. Somebody brought it up, and I'll never forget this. The fact that you really had to just kind of, like, I guess, press up a little bit against a pizza, for example, just, to learn the recipe instead of finding a book. And they all look the same too. So now in each area, you can just look for a book that says cook or chef on it or something. I think it says cook. And
I think so.
Learn something. It's like, thank God they changed that.
Yeah, because like Jonah's pizza, it's like, oh, look, a pizza. You learned how to make a pizza. Look, if I learned how to make pizza by like staring at a pizza, I mean, I guess it's not hard.
Right.
Like if you go get like a pizza dough or something and then just slap stuff on top of it, toss it in an oven. Like how hard can that be?
Right.
But like,
right.
I like to think that they just learned how to make a pizza, and every time they quote unquote cook a pizza, they just order a pizza.
That would be too funny. Right, from that one stand in the entertainment district.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, the gosh.
That would be hilarious. No, I love that change. And I hope that is all that. We haven't been able to fish yet, which I know you're happy about, but I've been living. Because there are fishing spots that I haven't been able to use yet.
Did you go to the Fisherman's Guild? I'm assuming you did.
Yeah. And it said something worth about Imperial Fishing Guild.
Oh.
Yeah. So like the door's locked, and there's a sign. Oh. It says Imperial Fishing Guild. Or something about it. I like either office is moving or coming soon or be back shortly or something.
Yeah.
And I wonder what's up with that.
Interesting. Okay.
And yeah, like, because there's fishing spots all over the place. And I'm like, I want to.
That is,
dude, I can't wait, man. I'm going to get to fishing and it'll make me super happy.
Oh, man.
God. Are there any other specific townies that you definitely want like checked up on at some point? Because you're like, oh man, I wonder what they're doing.
See, it's crazy. There were a few, but nobody's like immediately coming to mind. I will say I do wish I went and actually checked on the Testaments. I didn't stop by them at all.
They're doing great. They, like I said, they're running the bar as like a bar now. Like they're running it as a shop. They got a waiter. There's one of the dudes is teaching people how to play billiards.
Okay.
Yeah, there's like a whole scene down there. It was great.
Dang, yeah. See, I missed out on that entirely.
I hit everything, man. I scoured.
I thought I was doing pretty good at least getting to like the major spots. So like I didn't really anticipate anything happening if I were to go into Hotel Millennium, for example. I was like, okay, like whatever about this spot. And I thought I got to everywhere because I think I hit the major spots at the very least.
I think you hit all the major stuff. I think I think you probably saw most of the scenes other than the testaments.
Yeah.
And I think that's it.
Yeah, because I even went and checked on the 2 braces upstairs, which I was kind of anticipating them to get portraits. I was like, yo, like, you 2 are still here. You got to be relevant now, right? And they just didn't. So I was like, okay.
God, I don't know that I'm going to keep up with like checking everyone all the time.
Yeah.
Because once we have access to like the other areas, like Crossbell's just way too big.
Agreed. Yeah.
But like I'll probably keep up with most of the townies at the bare minimum. I checked up on the Hayworths. We both did. They're doing well. Old man Bose, the dude we met on the train who's like the merchant guild guy, like merchant.
Yeah,
dude?
like he had a big hand in the festival, right?
Yeah. He was doing good. I'm just happy, man. Again, Crossbell is filled with people, and they all spark joy.
It's good.
The last thing I had to talk about here was the music.
Yes.
And oh baby, the music. I love the like. All right, what's your take on the new combat theme? Seize the something.
It's good. Like it's really good. It's crazy because I'm on, a lower difficulty, I'm kind of blazing through these battles a lot faster, and I don't really get too much time to appreciate it unless I just sit there,
Yeah, that's fair.
So I guess my impression of it so far is kind of like, well, it's kind of whatever, but it is good because it's caught me a couple of times already where like I'll sit and kind of just bop a little bit and be like, wait a second, okay, like it just really kicked in here. Wait, let's go.
It has a much slower start than Get Over the Barrier.
Yeah.
And yeah, like it has a much slower start. I really like the evolution version. Which I've definitely linked to you. And
oh my gosh.
That hits so hard. I'm a big fan of it.
Good. For no reason, it is so good.
But yeah, like a lot of the Zero soundtrack comes back. So like Afternoon Crossbell, the Highway theme is back. The SSS theme. I know you're a big fan of the SSS theme.
It's that silly xylophone.
Those xylophones.
Silly Immediately.
I freaking love it. It's a good theme. No, like
is.
Zero's soundtrack. Like, and I think we've said this back on our Zero review. Zero's soundtrack is, in my opinion, like one of the best game soundtracks, like most consistent, just ever. Like it's a top 3 soundtrack for me.
Absolutely. Yes. Agreed.
So far, the Azure additions are kind of hit and miss.
I hear that.
The new boss theme is pretty good. I'm a big fan of it. I don't remember the name of it.
Nope, not yet. Too soon.
Like the new boss themes are pretty good. Like the area themes like are fine. I'm trying to think. Like Traces of D was a bop. Like I was feeling it, but like I don't remember it.
Yeah, likewise.
I my blazing hot take is that the train travel theme, whose name escapes me right now, is like Journey into Excitement or something. That I think Cold Steel is better. Like Lonely Journey is, because but here's the thing, I thought Lonely Journey was from the Zero soundtrack.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like it's not. It's a riff off of the Cold Steel main theme using like the Class 7 leitmotif, but like it felt like a Zero soundtrack song. And this new train theme doesn't as much.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. It's like something about it's just not clicking for me.
Yeah, I'm with you on that too. Yeah, it's a missable theme. You could just kind of let it skate on by and not really even remember that there was music playing in a way.
Yeah. Now I know, like, we have barely scratched the surface of the new soundtrack, and and like there's going to be so much more. And obviously, once our full review of the game comes out, we'll have a lot more to say about it. But like so far, like I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it.
Yeah, so far it is good. I'm excited to see where things start like kind of overlapping for this and the events of Cold Steel.
Yeah.
I'm like constantly like in a way on the edge of my seat. Just
oh my god, yeah. I guess this is kind of where we're going to start talking about spoilers. I guess for this game that are from Cold Steel. So if you want to go in to Azure with that and you haven't played Cold Steel yet, this is kind of the point where you can turn off the video and you've got our opinion on it.
Yeah.
But I like so far it's a 10 out of 10. I cannot wait to see where we're going. So we're going into like the potential event spoilers for this game based on the knowledge we have from the Trails of Cold Steel game, which takes place simultaneously. So let's go over like the list of events. Right? So we know that Guerrilla Fortress just explodes.
Yep.
And not like really normal explode. It just kind of vanishes off the face of the earth.
Yep. Giant crater in the ground.
Yeah. And that's kind of like, what? Like, it's like there's like a hole, like a spherical hole in where it was. So that's a thing that's apparently going to happen. We know that Crossbell will be under some sort of shield as well at some point, which we barely know anything about.
Right.
But the big thing is there's this trade conference coming up, and we know that Dieter Croy is going to declare Crossbell independent.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah.
And we also know it's going to kind of not go over super great. Because it's basically they're all going to laugh at him and be like, you and what army? He'll be like,
exactly.
But then, like, I guess a couple months later, he's like, me and this army. And blows up Guerrilla Fortress.
Is that alliance, I guess, like confirmed? I thought it was rumors.
I have no
he'd be
idea.
teaming up with Calvard.
I legitimately do not know.
Okay.
I know that the Imperial Times said something about it.
Right.
But I kind of think that he's not teaming up with Calvard. I feel like he's just
likewise
found or like enlisted or recruited some sort of mercenary group.
Right. And you know what? All right. Tinfoil hat. It's time.
All right. Let me get the tinfoil hat.
So, okay.
This is a plastic bag with crackers in it. It's not tinfoil. Just it's all I have on it.
Hey, better than me. I got nothing. So I think, I guess two things. One, the big building that's under construction, the Orcus Tower, that's going to have big involvement. Maybe it's what conjures up the shield for Crossbow. That
makes enough sense.
Yeah, because it's like, tallest building. So, of course, I guess it's got to, overcompass everything. And two, on the topic of mercenaries, Jaeger Group, I think, because there's no way, whoever the big hulking man is that's related to Randy, because he totally is, as well as Shirley, I think maybe we'll be in cahoots with the good old Dieter there. Maybe.
See, I didn't assume that they were related to Randy.
Really?
Because Lecter's got red hair.
That is true, but his is like a different shade. Like, literally, I think Randy's is kind of sort of described as like crimson hair.
But like, I mean, the logical interpretation from that would be Big Dude would be Randy's dad, but we know Randy's dad is dead.
Yeah, that's fair.
Don't we?
That's fair.
Wait, that's a fact, right?
I don't recall. I don't recall if it is dead. Fact, but I know
we learned that from Fee's backstory, right?
I was about to say I know over on Fee's side, yeah, for sure, or at least as far as we're aware.
Fee's Jaeger leader died, but I don't know if we know the fate of Randy
of the Red Constellation.
Yeah, okay. The Red Constellation.
Okay.
I mean that's a super spooky possibility.
Yeah, I'm really like bringing that in. I think that those two, I guess, regardless of their relation to Randy or not, they're gonna have involvement with the big building, maybe. And yeah, like going off of your thought on the Dieter bringing in like a third party for any reason at all, I think it would involve those two.
Yeah, definitely. That makes a lot of sense. Oh, that's really interesting. I like, because I was like, my initial thought was this is Randy's dad, but then my second thought was, wait, isn't that guy dead?
Right.
And so now I'm not sure about that. See, actually, like that's like, so maybe Dieter Croy's bringing them in so he can have his own, because like he's got to be already making plans for that announcement, obviously. Like that's the whole point of the conference.
Yes.
And like the whole point of that big building is like, we are Crossbell, you get bent.
Right.
Now I'm really curious. See, the plot for this game can go in a lot of different ways, and like Kia's involved in a lot of like the art, and so that she's got to do something.
Yeah, 100%.
And we start the game like with D therefore G, like DG cult nonsense. So like
yes,
and like their like data terminal thing is something that's just in the police department getting decoded. And so like I'm thinking to myself, like there's gotta be more going on here.
Right.
So I'm very intrigued to see where this goes. Like this could go a lot of places, and people say this is their favorite game.
Yeah, that too.
Like, and Zero is really good, and like if this is better than Zero, like we're in for a ride, man.
Yeah, like it's crazy to think how Zero ended up being pretty much all about the DG cult by the end of it, and like I feel like at least they're trying to sort of give you an idea, like, okay, yes, like you're moving on to the next big thing. The DG cult is actually done with how they, they give us that prologue, right? Yeah. And it's just like, oh yeah, hey, the actual remnants now, like they're actually gone. You've dealt with Ernest. He was the last one. That's it. So yeah, where does it go? Literally, where does it go from here?
Yeah, I don't know, man. We're gonna find out over the course of the next month or so. Like, because I'm in full Trails like marathon mode. Like, yeah, I'm full pedal to the metal at this point. Like, I'm gonna be going Azure into CS2.
Yeah,
probably straight into CS3, depending on how CS2 treats me. And then if I do that, I'll go straight into CS4, and then we'll have Reverie.
Yeah.
And there's no way in hell I'm getting done before Reverie drops, but
oh yeah,
because that's what, like 3 months from now, like July.
Yeah,
like we have. There's no way I'm beating 4 of these games in 3 months.
It's doomsday for me too, because I've got Octopath. And then Zelda comes out in May.
Dude, Octopath. See, Zelda, I'm gonna be doing on my own, like time. Nice. I'm gonna do like one stream of it when it drops. And I'm gonna do like a big let's get into the game, get comfy with it, And then that's going to be like a on my own time kind of game. Because like I need games for me.
I love that for you.
Yes. I mean, are you going to be streaming like all of your Breath of the Wild?
Oh yeah, I think so.
Oh wow. Like, because Breath of the Wild is one of those games that like can eat up your stream.
Oh yeah.
Right? It could take up a lot, like, because you, I don't know. I put like 200 hours into Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Which sounds like a lot.
But in the scope of Breath of the Wild, not really.
Yeah, but like a lot of the times also just like dinking around, you know, like just vibing.
Looking for shrines and Koroks and all the other in-betweens, the side quests.
Yeah.
Just getting items and other resources.
And like I think like that's the kind of game I just really don't want to do on stream, because I'll feel like I have to be doing something all the time.
That makes sense.
And I there's a lot of times in that game where I'll just kind of sit there and be like, there will be music playing, or like I'll just like hop on my horse and listen to the horse music. And because did you know like there's horse music, there's music if you're just riding your horse on the path. Like that's one of my favorite things in the whole world. The horse will just follow paths. So all you got to do is just like, you could just hit A periodically to keep it moving, and then you could just like pan the camera around, listen to the music, just relax.
That's it. Yeah.
Oh God, Breath of the Wild was a vibe.
Yeah, it is.
I'm really looking forward to Tears of the Kingdom. I'm really hoping that it's everything I've ever wanted.
It's gonna be so good.
Yeah. But we'll probably talk about that, and we can talk about a lot of other things next time. Do you have any last thoughts? Last thoughts on Azure? Well, okay. Last bits of your first impression.
Really, really great game. I am in a perpetual state of anxiety but excitement. I'm looking forward to the rest of this game. I'm excited to talk about it with Eric and with all of you. Just good. Also, don't do Gnosis. All right, no drugs.
Don't do Gnosis. It's bad for you. You know, Gnosis, look what it does. It morbs you, and you turn into a weird blind demon with a pulsating six-pack that looks like Felix's left knee.
Yeah. Hey, man.
What a wild time. You know, I'm really excited for other people to get the chance to play this. The day after this podcast comes out. Again, thank you, NiSA Video Game Company, so much for believing in us enough to. We love you very much. Please work with us in the future still, because we love the things that you're doing. I'm sorry that if you do that for Reverie, we're going to be a while before we get to review it. I'm sorry, NiSA Video Game Company.
Also true.
We can't. There's too much.
Yeah, there's way too much.
There's too much. Please don't give us Kuro until like next year. I beg of you. I can't do all these games. Dude, if they drop like a surprise, hey, Kuro in September, I'm gonna die.
Oh, like, man, September like, could you imagine stupid.
Could you imagine like holiday Kuro?
Nah, couldn't do it. Couldn't do it at all.
That would be painful. Oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, y'all, this has been one more for the road. I hope y'all had a fantastic time. Felix, again, I can't believe it. Also, I don't know. Did I say season 2 at the beginning of this?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I hope so.
I hope so too. Well, welcome to season 2. More podcast. Well, okay, it's the same amount of podcasts, but I feel like we finally got the vibe of it down. I feel like we got the
100%
the steez.
Yeah.
So we'll see you next time, everyone. Goodbye.
Take it easy, everyone.
Woo.